Hello. So my first, I have the scalene muscles, and there's three of them: the anterior, middle, and posterior. So I'll start with the anterior. So it's right here on the poster, and its origin is in the anterior tubercle of transverse processes of the vertebrae, C3, C6, somewhere in here. The insertion is the anterior scalene tubercle of rib 1, superior border of rib 1, anterior to subclavian groove, right in here. The primary motion for the anterior scalene muscle is neck flexion, so pushing your neck down, and also lateral flexion and neck rotation too. So just head to the side and then turning, and it also elevates your first rib. So the nerve that's responsible for it is the anterior rami of spinal nerves C4 through C6. The muscle that's the antagonists are the upper trapezius, splenius capitis, splenius cervicis, semispinalis capitis, and the location there in the back, on the back, upper back, and so since the anterior scalene is used for neck flexion, these are used for neck extension, so looking up. An daily action that this muscle assists in is nodding your head or just like looking under something. A safe stretch is for the anterior scalene is looking just like this and kind of tilting your head a little bit. You can feel it stretching. You can just hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. And then an exercise to strengthen it is you can just use your hand, and you just try to push your head down and keep resisting with your hand. Okay, so next is the middle scalene. That's the bigger one, and it is right there. And yeah, that's origin is on the posterior tubercles of transverse processes of vertebrae C3 through C7. The insertion is a superior border of rib 1, posterior to subclavian groove, so it's right up here. That primary motion is lateral neck flexion, and it also elevates the ribs, so head turns your neck side to side. And then the joint, the primary axis, the atlantoaxial joint, in your spine, in your C-spine. The nerve that's responsible is also the anterior rami of spinal nerves, but C3 through C8. And then the antagonist muscles are the same as the other one. And, well, it's the same. And then a stretch, a daily action for the muscle is looking under something, because lateral flexion, me looking up at my camera right now. And the stretch is you just tilt your head like this, kind of like how I would crack my neck. That's how I crack my neck. And you just hold it, tilt your head a little bit. And then another stretch is just same as the other one. Use your hand and you just lean up against it, and that'll help strengthen it. And then the last scalene muscle is the posterior scalene muscle. So The origin for this one is the posterior tubercles of transverse processes of vertebrae C5 through C7. So this is right here. It's the one in the most rear one. It's right here, and the origin's up in here. The muscles, the insertion is the external surface of rib 2. So the bottom right there. The primary motion for this one is also neck lateral flexion, and this one elevates rib 2. And the joint that's responsible is the atlantoaxial joint. The nerve that's responsible is the anterior ramium spinal nerves again, this time C6 through C8. The antagonist muscles and the function of the antagonist muscles do, it's the same. Scalenes are the same group of muscles, so the same antagonist muscles and stuff like that. And then daily action, again, looking under something. A stretch, this one, since it's more back here, you just kind of like look down into your armpit and just kind of pull down a little bit, hold it for 30 seconds. And that concludes the Scalene presentation.